All right, here we're going to solve an equation that has variables on both sides. Involves some distributive property over here and this fraction. This fraction would make the distributive property just really ugly. It'd be lots of adding and subtracting of fractions and all sorts of stuff like that. So let's make this a lot easier by eliminating that fraction right away. That's what we'll do here. I'm going to eliminate it by multiplying both sides of the equation by 3. And that's the denominator of this fraction. And when I multiply 2/3 times 3, 2 3's will cancel out, and I'm just left with 2. So over here, I'll multiply everything by 3. So 5x times 3 is 15x, and 4 times 3 is 12. And then over here, I'll still have my 2, and then nothing changed inside these parentheses. I still have 4x minus 7. Okay. Then I'll do my distributive property now, but I'm dealing with all whole numbers, so much easier. So 5x equals 12. So 2 times 4x is 8x. 2 times 7 is 14. And now I want to get all of my x terms on the same side of the equation. Or basically, I need to get the x by itself, which means I need to get the x term by itself. But currently, I have 2 x terms on opposite sides of the equation, so I have to get rid of one of them. And we'll get rid of the 8x by subtracting 8x from each side. So I'll take 8x from 15x, and that's going to leave us with 7x. We haven't done anything with the 12 yet. 8x take away 8x is just nothing. And there's our 14. We haven't done anything with that. Now, I need to get the 7x all by itself, so I have to get rid of this 12. So I'll subtract 12 from each side. And that gives me 7x over here. And see, 14 take away 12 is 2. And then last, we're just going to divide by 7 on each side. Now, 2 divided by 7, that's not a whole number, but that's okay. We can just write it as a fraction. And that's what the bar in the middle of the fraction means. It means divided by. 2/7 is what I get when I divide 2 by 7. And so our answer in the end is 2/7. So just to review our steps. So we had this fraction out front, but we didn't want to do a distributive property sort of thing with the fraction. So what we did is we multiplied everything by the denominator of the fraction, 3. Keeping in mind we had to multiply every term over here by 3. Not just the first term, all of them. And that still leaves us, that doesn't eliminate, eliminates the fraction, but we still have the numerator. The 2 is still going to be here because 3/2, or 2/3, sorry, times 3 is 2. Okay. So then after that, we did the distributive property with our whole numbers. And then we had to eliminate a variable term from over here so that we only had one variable term. And then we had to isolate that variable term by getting rid of the constant term here, the 12. And then, on the very end, we just divide by the coefficient of x. And when we do that division, if it's not a whole number, that's fine. We can just represent it as a fraction. And the answer turns out to be 2/7.